Shadow work is a powerful tool for deep transformation, but it doesn't come without its challenges. And if you're considering starting your shadow work journey, or if you already are on your shadow work journey, then there are some crucial red flags that you should be aware of. And in this video, I want to share with you 10 of those red flags that you need to be aware of that can then be a good indicator that either you are on the wrong path, you're going too fast, too deep, or that you may need some support on your shadow work journey. Because knowing these red flags are going to be key for you to really experience the deep transformation and inner growth and inner healing that you can achieve through shadow work. So let's dive right into those 10 red flags that I really want to make you aware of. The first red flag is constant emotional overwhelm. If you're experiencing that constant emotional overwhelm, where you're constantly just feeling very depressed and overwhelmed and emotional and triggered and things like that, that is a good indicator that you have gone too far too fast, or too deep too fast, and you have basically opened up Pandora's box without the support, without the guidance, without the tools to help you manage all these deep emotional woundings, these triggers that you have basically dived into too fast, too soon. Because yes, shadow work, there is emotional turmoil that can happen, emotional upset and things like that. It can be quite emotional, but if you are in that constant emotional overwhelm where you feel like you can't get out of, that means you have just gone too far too fast, and that can actually hinder your progress. Because yes, if you're going through shadow work and you're experiencing the emotional turmoil and you're working through that, now there is a difference. Like when you're doing shadow work in the right way, you may experience negativity, but it may feel like that you're moving through it. It doesn't feel stuck. You're moving through it. Yes, you're experiencing negativity, but it's like it's moving. It's flowing. You're moving through that period of emotional upset. But what I'm talking about here is that emotional overwhelm is like when you're just feeling stuck in the emotion, like nothing is moving, you're just constantly feeling that. That is a sign that you have gone too fast too soon, or you have opened up Pandora's box. You dove too deep into the emotions without the right tools and techniques to really help you with that. So if you're noticing that you're feeling really stuck in emotion, that is not good, because that can then lead to emotional burnout and even avoidance then as well. And you're just constantly stuck in that negative emotion, and you're not actually receiving the benefit of shadow work. So here a suggestion is slow things down. Go about shadow work in an easier, more manageable way. Take breaks in between, and then also maybe even seek help, seek support, so you don't have to do this on your own. Especially the more traumatic events, you don't want to touch those all on your own. So that's the first red flag. Then the second red flag is neglecting physical and also mental health. Going through your shadow work journey, it can be quite overwhelming. It can be quite taxing to the physical body, and it can be also very emotionally draining. And if you're not taking care of yourself, whether it's through self-care or being more nurturing to yourself, that can lead to immense burnout and even mental health problems and even physical problems as well. Because when you're suppressing a lot of the emotions, or you're working through a lot of emotions in an unsupported way, then you can actually experience physical symptoms. From pain, you can develop illnesses, you can develop, physical responses, and of course, then you can also experience anxiety and depression. So here, it's very important that you take care of yourself throughout this shadow work journey, because shadow work, it's not just something you do for a short time and then you're done with it. No, it is a journey. It's an ongoing process. So you got to take care of yourself in between as well and throughout the journey. Self-care, taking time out to really nurture yourself, creating somewhat of a balance, not just constantly doing the inner healing and uncovering and shadow work, but you also want to take a breather and take care of yourself in the process. Because if you constantly just keep going, you actually create an imbalance, and then shadow work is actually harming you more than it does you any good. Then the third red flag is obsessively focusing on just the negativity. So yes, shadow work, it's about uncovering negative aspects and shadow aspects and things like that. But it's not just about the negativity. It's also about the good side. So if you're noticing that you're focusing a lot on the negative aspects of yourself, of the things you don't like, and yes, I'm doing shadow work and this is what I'm uncovering and it's so negative. If you're just constantly in that negative state, then you're actually also missing a very important part of shadow work, because shadow work is, yes, it's about uncovering those negative things. That gives you the starting point. But then as you're doing healing and clearing and you're allowing yourself to uncover the message, the lesson, and gift within the shadow, that is the part that helps you then transform and transcend. Because you're meant to integrate the gift within the shadow in order to then release the shadow, releasing the shadow aspects. So if you're always just focusing on the negativity, but never really looking at the good traits that you have, the good aspects about, or even in uncovering the gift within the shadow and then embracing that, embodying that, then you're also missing a very important aspect of shadow work. And it can actually reinforce those negative aspects about yourself, the negative traits, the negative habits. And you then just stay stuck in the negativity. So here what you can do is reflect on the positive things, celebrating your wins whenever you are having a breakthrough. Take a moment, like pat yourself on the shoulder, like, hey, I've just been through this. I just learned this massive lesson. I just had this massive realization. Great. Before you then move forward. So you also want to create somewhat of a balance here too. Then the fourth red flag is that you're isolating yourself from others and your loved ones and friends. I mean, I get it. When you're going through shadow work, it's not always easy, especially if you're not having the support and things like that. But it's not good when you're actually isolating yourself, because that then creates loneliness. That can then cause you to develop depression. And you don't want to do that, because then you're just constantly stuck in that negative state of being. So here what you may want to do is find yourself like-minded people that you can surround yourself with, that are also on that inner healing journey, that spiritual journey, that shadow work journey. If you can talk to your family and loved ones about that and your friends, then do that. But if, let's say, your friends and loved ones don't really understand or are not as supportive as you would like them to be, then here maybe find a group of people that you can surround yourself with, whether it's starting your own group, maybe just joining a group, or finding like-minded people that you can surround yourself with. And here I want to just mention, if you're looking for somewhat of a like-minded group of people, then consider joining me in Transcendence, my membership. Link is in the description below, where you are surrounded by like-minded people that actually get what you're going through, that understand, that can support you, that can motivate you, and that can really assist you throughout this process. So link is in the description below if you want to check it out. Then the fifth red flag is being stuck in the past. That is a very big problem, is when you're just constantly stuck in the past, constantly thinking of what happened and what was and why it was, and just constantly looking backwards. When it comes to shadow work, yes, you want to become aware of what happened, but then you're working through it so you can then move forward. It is about a progression. It's about moving forward, releasing the past and then moving forward. When you're always just so focused on the past, well, you can't move forward, because if you're looking this way, but your future is that way, you can't see, you can't look backwards, right? So you want to really take your focus away from the past and then look forward, using shadow work as a tool that will help you evolve, grow, move forward. Not always just being stuck in the past. So here what you may want to do is, yes, it's okay to reflect on the past in order to uncover, well, what are the triggers? What are the pain points? What are the shadow aspects? What is there? Only for the discovery purpose, okay? Not dwelling on it. Because also one thing I want you to know is, when it comes to shadow work, the story never matters. What happened, how it happened, who was all, none of that matters, right? What matters is, okay, something happened in the past that caused you to feel a certain negative way, that caused a negative reaction, that still holds somewhat of a negative punch to it when you're thinking about it. Okay, great. You've uncovered that. Then you're leaving the past behind, and then you're looking at, okay, what is there? What is going on? What are the shadow aspects? You're doing your work. You're working through the process. You're healing, you're clearing, you're uncovering the message, the lesson, and the gift. And like, okay, now I'm going to let that go. I'm going to integrate the gift, and I'm going to move forward. That is the important process about shadow work. It's not about being stuck in the past. So if you're noticing that you're constantly thinking about, contemplating about, or obsessing about the past, that is actually counterproductive to the shadow work that you're doing, because you don't want to focus just on the past. You want to take what you uncover about the past to help you then move forward. Then the sixth red flag is avoiding or even resisting professional help. And here I don't just talk about going to a therapist or counselor if that is not what you like, but maybe working with a spiritual mentor, a spiritual coach, a spiritual healer, or someone that can really assist you moving forward. Because when you are doing shadow work, and if it's too intense, if you have experienced some really bad trauma throughout your life, or just some things that are still very, very painful when you're thinking about them, those are things you may not want to do on your own. Because for one, there's somewhat of a safety mechanism within us, right? Like part of you knows that if I touch that, that's going to be re-traumatizing. This is going to be so bad. I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to stay 10 feet away just from going there. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to recognize that there's something there. Or if you are then becoming aware of something and you're then trying to dive deep into it, then for one, this can also be very overwhelming for you, emotionally taxing, re-traumatizing, like you're reliving it all over again, and you're back into the trenches of just being an emotional mess basically because of that. That is not helping you. So certain things, like, I am a big advocate for doing shadow work on your own, because it's absolutely empowering when you do your own shadow work. However, certain things may require more professional help, because a professional or an outside person, someone that really knows how to do shadow work, can help you ease into certain things, can help you uncover things that you on your own are simply not able to uncover because that inner resistance, right? And they can assist you in working through that. And if you're working with an energy healer, they can actually help you heal shadow aspects. Like for example, I use light language for the deep inner healing, clearing out these shadow imprints, these shadow aspects on a DNA cellular level, on an energetic level, so you can then let that go to transcend that then into something higher. So avoiding or resisting professional help can actually work against you, because you're then stuck in that emotional turmoil, or you're not healing what you need to heal that is actually still affecting you quite negatively in your life. Because just because you're not thinking about certain things, or you don't want to become aware of certain things, doesn't mean they're not there. They're just playing in the background. You just don't have any awareness of it, but they're still playing in the background. They're affecting your actions, your inactions, how you're showing up in the world, what you're creating in your life, all of that. It's affecting every aspect of your life. So you want to maybe then consider working with someone that can assist you with that. And if you would like my help, you can maybe start with booking a discovery session so we can have a conversation, or maybe consider joining me in Transcendence, because we do have weekly live calls where you could receive that additional support in making it through these. But ideally, if you are going through something very intense, then here maybe working with someone on a one-on-one basis may be ideal to help you break through that. Because if you're not getting the help, that can actually deepen that emotional distress and actually can then hinder you and keep you from that healing aspect of really doing this work. Then the seventh red flag is that constant self-criticism. Like if you notice that you constantly criticize yourself, that you talk down on yourself, that you're feeling very negatively about yourself, of the things that you're uncovering, that also is a red flag, because anything that you're uncovering, you should be absolutely excited about it and grateful for it, because with awareness comes the power of choice. If you're not aware of it, like I just mentioned, just because you're not aware of it or want to acknowledge it, this doesn't mean that stuff is not there. It's just playing out in the background, right? But when you're becoming aware of things, that gives you immense power, because then you know, okay, there's something there. This is holding me back. Great. Let's heal that. Let's clear that. Let's uncover the gift, the message, the lesson, so I can release that. So you can let go of that baggage, because it's weighing on you, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, but it is affecting you. It is weighing on you. And you being critical about that, or criticizing yourself of what you're uncovering, is actually hindering your growth too, because then that's also reinforcing the negativity, the negative self-image that you might have about yourself, and it's actually preventing your growth. So instead of criticizing yourself or being critical about the things that you're uncovering, be grateful. Because every little thing that you uncover that you don't like about yourself, that is holding you back, that is interfering, that is causing you harm, that is negatively affecting you, that is causing you some emotional turmoil, all of those shadow aspects, when you become aware of them, you have the power to do something about it. If you wouldn't have the awareness, you couldn't do anything about it, but it still would be there in the background. So don't criticize yourself. Shadow work is about self-compassion. It's about doing this work from an open heart, an open mind, being gentle with yourself, and giving yourself that self-nurturing approach, like really being nurturing with yourself, compassionate with yourself. So if you're noticing that you're very critical about yourself or the things that you're uncovering, that's a big red flag there. Just something to consider. Then the 8th red flag is ignoring the positive traits and qualities. You're not all just about shadow work and negative aspects and negative traits or negative habits. No. You also have so many positive traits, positive aspects about yourself. And by you always just focusing on the negative things, you're actually creating an imbalance in your self-view and your self-image. So if you're already noticing that you're having a somewhat limited self-image, that is because you're focusing so much on the negative aspects about yourself and you're ignoring or not even realizing the positive aspects about yourself. A positive aspect could be that you're actually doing this work, that you're actually courageous enough to do this work of shadow work. That is a positive aspect about yourself. And here what you can do is like celebrate your wins, celebrate your strengths, really contemplate and uncover what are all the good things about you. Really become aware of what do you actually like about yourself and put more emphasis on that, especially during times when you are doing shadow work. Because when you're doing shadow work, yes, you are uncovering negative things. So here, also look at the positive things. Also look at the gifts within the shadows. Because shadow work is about uncovering the gift, the message, and the lesson. So also put more emphasis on that. Not just the shadow aspect, not just the negativity about it, but also what's the gift within it. Embrace that, embody that. That is very important. Then the 9th red flag is using shadow work as a justification or an excuse for behaving not so nicely. Now I get it. When you're going through shadow work, you're in the trenches. You're uncovering a lot of stuff, which can cause emotional upset and emotional turmoil, where you can maybe feel quite agitated, maybe angry, maybe a little aggressive. But the thing is, it's about not taking it out on other people and then using shadow work as an excuse for doing that. You still want to be careful of how you're then showing up in the world, because yes, shadow work is a powerful and important process where you're processing a lot of stuff that can help you with your inner healing and inner growth and inner transformation. But throughout the process, you also then experience those not so pleasant experiences. But it's not an excuse to take that out on other people. What you can do is let them know that, hey, I just want to let you know I'm going through some things right now. If I am lashing out on you, please don't be upset. And I'm really sorry about that. And also become aware whenever you are reacting in a not so pleasant way, apologize right away. Try to keep that under control, because just because you're going through your stuff doesn't give you the right to then take it out on other people. But shadow work should never be used as an excuse for behaving poorly, showing up in a not so pleasant way, because this is your journey. It is your responsibility to keep things in check. Yes, it's okay to have a bad day, but then also maybe let your friends and loved ones know that, hey, just letting you know, I'm going through somewhat of a rough time. So please be a little understanding if I do lash out on you. I don't really mean that. But, if I do, I just want you to know that I really don't mean it. But I'm going through stuff, but I'm doing my best to not take it out on you. So that's just very important that I want to mention, is like, don't use shadow work as an excuse for behaving poorly or taking out your anger on other people and things like that. Okay? Then the 10th and final red flag is the lack of integration and action. When it comes to shadow work, it's about uncovering the message, the lesson, and the gift. And you want to integrate that and then take different actions. If you're always just diving deep into uncovering the shadow, uncovering the shadow, uncovering the shadow, and yes, okay, there's a gift in there somewhere too. Okay, I acknowledge that. Okay, great. Okay, I'm gonna continue the healing process. You're constantly in that cycle of constantly healing and clearing and healing and clearing and healing and clearing, feeling like you have to constantly fix yourself and fix yourself and fix yourself. For one, there is nothing wrong with you. I just want you to know there's nothing wrong with you. You have just picked up some limiting aspects, some limiting beliefs, some woundings. You've experienced a lot of things that in that moment served you well. But now they're basically no longer serving you. So that's why you want to do shadow work. But when you're always just in that cycle of constant healing and clearing and healing and clearing and not actually then integrating the message, the lesson, the gift, and then taking different actions, you're not actually growing. You're just constantly in that cycle. You're constantly going in circles, of constantly healing and fixing and healing and fixing and healing and fixing, but you're actually not moving forward. So the integration is very important. So if you're noticing that you're constantly feeling like you have to fix something, and constantly heal something, you're missing a very important step, which is the integration of the healing, of the discovering of the gift, and then taking different actions. That is very important, because if you uncover something about a shadow and you heal and you clear and then you uncover the gift, but then you not do anything with it, you're not integrating, you're not taking different action, you're actually not resolving the shadow. Because the whole purpose of shadow work is transforming, changing, growing, letting go of the old and embracing something new. But if you're not actually integrating and then taking different action, then you're missing a step. It's like you're trying to get there, but you're here, but you're missing that step in between. So you can't get over here because that step is missing. So you have to integrate the teachings, the lessons, the whatever you're uncovering in order to then grow and transform. So here my suggestion is, after every round of you doing some healing and clearing and uncovering shadow aspects, make it a habit to then really integrate the gift of what you uncovered, and then make it a habit and set the intention to take different actions moving forward. And really hold yourself accountable that you are moving forward in a higher, more aligned way. Now that you have cleared and healed and transcended the shadow aspect. Very important. So here are the 10 red flags that I want you to be aware of around shadow work, and also what you can do to break through these red flags, overcome these red flags. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. Maybe leave me a comment below. Let me know. Do you resonate with any of those red flags that I have mentioned? Are you maybe realizing that maybe you are experiencing any of those red flags? Well, now you also then have the awareness of what you can do about these red flags so you can change things around. But leave me a comment below. Let me know. Do you resonate with any of those red flags? Do you maybe experience them in your life? I would love to know. While you're at it, maybe even hit the like button. Maybe share this video with someone that you think could benefit from it. And if you would like my help, there are some links in the description below to either book a discovery session or even to check out Transcendence. Join me in Transcendence. You can do so for free for 7 days. Try it out. See if you like it, to get the help and support that you need on your shadow work healing journey. So thanks so much for watching, but also be sure to check out these 2 videos here. One is about the importance of community on your spiritual journey, and another one is about 6 mistakes people usually make when they start shadow work. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, make an amazingly abundant and joyful day. Namaste.